What's goody, folks? Team Rival versus Era Eternity. That's our second console matchup of the day. But our second analyst of the day, well, her name's Taco.
What's up, guys? And we got some pretty exciting, or a pretty exciting set, I should say, for the final EU matchup. It'll be Rival that we'll get to see their debut again. So I'm pretty excited to see if they're going to be able to secure another 2-0 victory for themselves.
Yeah, Era Eternity should put up a fight, but we'll see just how much of the fight, and then we'll get into North America a little bit later. Again, Cameron, hit him up on Tinder? Hit him up on Twitter if you're a graphic designer. Starboys need a new logo, although I'm sure Cameron could use a couple of Tinder hits as well. This next matchup, though, Era Eternity versus Rival, should be an interesting one. Rival, this is the team to beat in Europe for sure.
I'm actually really looking forward to seeing this because last time we got to see them play, they were a little bit shaky,
Yeah.
I would say, in their first set. I don't think that they felt as confident or as comfortable as they would have liked to have felt against these other EU teams. And Era Eternity, I think, were also putting up an excellent fight in their set. So I think that these two teams will probably clash pretty heavily here.
We'll certainly see where they wind up. Team Rival going to wind up on the right side, which means they have a second selection and the second ban. And Bologna, the first ban, that's going to be put in the pocket.
I can't get over it. It's so comfortable.
I love it.
I love it too.
We were just talking off camera. The dress with pockets, like see me in that next month. I swear, see me in that next month. But next month might be when we actually see Ganesh played. He's been banned so often. We saw him played last round, but that's what you get. You either get he's banned or he gets stomped on because the team feels confident enough to really deal with him. But with that one ban left out, Ravana will be the selection for EE.
And an even split across the board for these two teams. One takes Ravana, the other Osiris. And with Bologna being off the table, I see that's a pretty solid selection on either side. But
yeah.
Rival going to lock away that Terra, who's also been a pretty high priority pick as of late. Or, I mean, just in general, her damage is solid, her sustain is really good, and she has enough peel for her team.
It's the Geb that I'd say has been, prevalent as of late. Terra's been around since Terra's been around, but yeah. Geb comes, Geb goes, Geb rolls in and out of the meta. And here he is back. Why do we see so much Geb?
He just has a lot of the peel potential, and it's really just the cleanse on his shield as well as just the tanky force. You want somebody who can try and control those team fights, and if you make it through that early vulnerable stage, then you're going to be looking really good as the game progresses. Right around levels 9 and up, he's just so strong because of the cleanse with his shield, and really annoying dealing with that Cataclysm in team fights.
Well, from level 0 and up, Susano's pretty annoying dealing with that everything in team fights, so he'll be there. He got first blood in last match. We'll see if Rival can do the same. Aphrodite and Soul banned out by Team Rival, and Hades and Nox, some alternate mid lane selections, banned out by Era Eternity, knowing that Team Rival's mid laner Watson likes to do some weird stuff, is the broadcast appropriate word. So Chang'e will be the selection likely in that mid lane.
Sometimes you get a couple of special snowflakes. I think Watson's one of those guys who really likes showing off his diversity when it comes to the God pool and breaking out the Chang'e. While it's something that we're kind of accustomed to seeing, I think that that's also a little bit of a target pick selection, considering we see the Aphrodite ban and the Soul ban. So it doesn't surprise me that Rival are going to take this Chang'e away from the mid laner of Era Eternity.
For sure. And the Jing way to round things out. Team Rival's Hunter will be playing this character. We've seen her come back. As soon as she got that Fatalis effect removed, she was gone, never to be seen again. But now Team Rival and a couple of other players have brought her back, not just this week, but last week as well. Really just a resurgence of the young Hunter.
A fun little aspect of Jing as well is when she gets knocked up by the Hu Yi combo of his second and third ability, she can just dash away.
Exactly.
Which is kind of convenient, although Hu Yi is probably favored at the initial laning phase just because he does have a little bit more lane clear, but paired up with the Geb, I'm not sure that Mango Man and Bay Porsche are going to have the pressure over Jacob and Dobson.
Mango Man is playing that solo Geb. Thanks, Deathwalker.
Wow.
Thanks, Deathwalker.
Actually, yeah, I see. Wow, yeah, Coach Killy is definitely the support for Era Eternity.
It's one of those things.
You see it, and then you kind of just forget, hey, EU likes solo lane Geb now.
Now, it's interesting because solo Geb, and really, he's not watching, but I do have to give a shout out to the original solo Geb, Paperbat. P-Bat played solo Geb way back when Geb first came out. destroyed everyone's dreams. Now Geb has changed a multitude since then, and really what Mango Man is looking for with this Geb solo, you can see the Sunder pickup is, well, eventually he'll likely pick up a Blink, although Coach Kelly wishes he had one right now. Knock up, and then he's going to be in trouble here. Nice clap, and he's knocked down. Dobson gets first blood.
That is a solid first blood from Rival, just immediately punishing Area Eternity for pushing up so far in that dual lane, kind of just trying to poke their head in, see what they could get away with, and well, they couldn't get away with anything. And I love the turnaround. I also love this invade by Rival, really trying to put as much pressure as possible into this jungle for Area Eternity, because when you've got a Geb in the solo lane, sure, it can be great when you get to those later team fights, but
now?
Yeah, that's the fun part of early lane Geb.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was going for. So Mango Man here, as I said, he's got the Sunder. Later on, we're likely going to see the Blink. Mango Man is looking to blow somebody up 100-0, essentially.
And that's kind of what you just want him to look for, but it's still going to be a little bit difficult trying to get away with this early on. A lot of poke being placed onto both of these solo laners, but Mango Man's got the shield. He'll be able to survive it. Rapio with full cooldown, so not really much regression he can place.
So basically, I think a lot of people are saying, how does the Geb actually do that? Right? What you're looking for is the fact that Duckbot can get out of trouble with the pack fire, is the fact that the ultimate Cataclysm does % damage, and then up close and personal, the Shockwave does a ton of damage. It does a lot of damage. So basically what you're looking for is a Blink Initiate, ultimate takes out a big chunk of HP by way of percentage, and then of course a Shockwave is going to hit you for a lot of damage, a surprising amount of damage. And so Mega Man's going to look for that combined with the Sunder to essentially just delete somebody later on. But as you've mentioned and we've seen, getting there is the problem.
The rollout as well can be, just in case the Shockwave isn't enough off of the Sunder, you have the rollout and then the auto attack that you can pretty much almost always land due to the slow effect.
Man, I want to see a Polynomicon. just for the extra, like, pop.
I mean, I think that's a little bit too risky, though.
Too risky? They went Geb solo.
I mean, but that's like, you're already risking it for the biscuit. You don't need to try and, like, burn the entire batch.
All right, I see you. I agree. Just trying to have some fun with Geb solo. And, you know, it's interesting because we were very critical about Geb jungle once upon a time. And I think this is a fun point to really highlight the difference between the solo lane. The solo lane is, I call it the kiln. It's the oven. You can shove somebody over there in the solo lane, and they get solo farm, they get built up quicker than others, and they just sort of bake there. And then 15 minutes later, you check on them, and Geb's one-shotting people. So you got to be careful about that.
And Geb also opted for that swift wing as opposed to the teleport.
Zooming.
He wanted the Sunder, so I don't disagree with this. He has the breastplate rush start, so he's going to have a little bit of 8 mana regen as well as just the general tankiness that you'd want, especially against that Osiris.
It's fun watching the mini-map. Next time Geb goes to base, I'm going to bring it up, and we'll watch on the mini-map the little Geb icon just zoom all the way up. It's really fun keeping an eye on that guy. So 4 minutes in, Team Rival still the only one with a kill so far, and trying to keep things relevant here early on.
And I definitely agree with what they're doing as far as Area Eternity is concerned. They were able to come and focus their buffs as soon as the first cycle came around for them, which is what they're going to have to do against this high-pressure composition from Rival.
Yeah, Area Eternity have the opposite of high pressure. It's similar to what we saw out of, what did we see, Naventic earlier on take on Enix. And Naventic in game number 1 didn't have a jungler. They played a Zhang in the mid lane next to the Hell in the mid lane. There's not much pressure there early game. And basically the way Naventic escaped the early game was they just sat on their porch the whole time. Nobody left a tower, nobody invaded, they just hung out and forced the enemy to come to them. That's what Area Eternity have to do here with Rival. That's why I really didn't like that play from Coach Killy. Listen, you don't have the team to be aggressive. Just hang out.
Plus, an Athena really doesn't want to look for aggression as well. I thought it would be the Geb with the Hu Yi, but either way, an Athena and a Hu Yi lane still is not going to have the greatest clear against a Terra and Jing.
Coach Killy by himself going to get chased away by those left side Harpies, but so far, looking at the net worth, Geb very, very, very low on the bottom. Actually, the actual bottom, and that should be expected.
Yeah, we're not going to see pretty much any damage from Mango Man. If anything, he'll just be absorbing all of it.
Well, that's actually the net worth. My point is saying that he's going to be pushed back onto the tower the entire time. So he's not going to be able to clear until... you know what, folks? I'll be honest. My analysis of solo lane Geb is a little lacking, but I feel like he should be able to solo clear that wave around level 10 or 11. That means his shock wave is maxed out, and he's probably showing love to his rollout as well.
With the rollout and the shockwave combined, he'll be able to clear that wave, like just using those two abilities. But it's still incredibly risky trying to drop both those abilities. The only reason why he was able to do that just then was because he had Maloaise hanging out in the jungle.
And yeah, exactly. He knows that he can be a little bit safe there. So Mango Man trying something different, but I applaud that really heavily, simply because we saw Enix and Rival. Rival's a better example of an established team. They are great. And coming into this one, Era Eternity understand that they're probably not what I call the top card. They're not the favorite in this matchup. So listen, why play the enemy's game? Play your own game and see if you can, that curveball is enough. Now, I think there is such thing as too weird. Laughing about it.
The classic Spamton after you get the better end.
Oh! Vaporish just having a good time. I think there is such thing as too weird, but at the end of the day, Geb solo might seem like that, but hey, Deathwalker won with it, so you know what? It is what it is, right?
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
That doesn't really apply here. That doesn't really apply here.
He has 100% win ratio in the solo lane.
I think
in the solo lane is the key word here.
In the solo lane. I think it's more, even if it looks weird, that doesn't mean it's busted. I don't know. We'll find an idiom for it at some point. But right now, Era Eternity only down pretty much the 1,000 that was the First Blood and the invade off of the First Blood. So not too big of a deal for Era. This is the type of game that they're looking for with a pick like a Geb solo. It's interesting that they also went the Raven jungle, though. Usually Raven jungle is hyper-aggressive early on, and with the Geb solo, you're not looking for hyper-aggression early on. So I don't see that connection.
With the Geb solo as well as the Vulcan mid, both of those lanes just don't really provide a ton of their own safe clearing potential. It's looking like Maloaise is trying to get something going in the solo lane, but not going to be able to really do too much to Gnome because, unfortunately, the follow-up damage is Mango Man. And Geb doesn't really have follow-up damage, not this early on, and not with the build that he's opting for right away.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing here out of Era Eternity is more of a, instead of a true solo lane, the 1.5 lane, where Maloaise isn't really, I don't know, I don't think he's going to be looking for the gank anytime soon. I think he's just looking for, hey, you're Geb. I need to help you clear the lane.
That's probably
definitely
the mindset, but it's actually Gnome who overstayed his welcome in the solo lane and the Sunders. It took two of them, but if it works, it works.
And that's what I'm talking about when I said throw your curveball and see if Team Rival can still hit it out of the park. Straight up, Gnome dies there, and I'm extrapolating a little bit. I don't know this for sure. Gnome dies there because he just doesn't expect to die from a solo lane Geb. Chang'e, on the other hand, gets hit from the back end, but a great pull coming out from Rapio protects him from the jungle. Sirduckbot still hits his shot. That's going to be a 1 kill on his side. Answer back, Coach Killy dies as well, but it's a support for a mid lane.
Coach Killy ensuring that he took one down with him, and unfortunately for Rival, that does mean Watson. So now that early pressure that Rival could have been looking for onto the Gold Fury in particular, considering that Gnome did die in that solo lane side. But without both of the Sunders available, I think that Rival should be looking to place a little bit more pressure onto objective right now, just because the Gold Fury would be a lot easier for them to just look for the aggression on. I think that a large issue that they're kind of having right now is, Gnome wasn't expecting to get 2v1 there because you just never really expect to die to Geb.
Yeah, exactly, and that's powerful. That's very powerful.
But Vaporish also has a lot of dual lane pressure. he's been out poking Dobson consistently and forcing Dobson to back off. And it's also because he opted for that Warrior Talbot into Ickful build. So the issue here that I have for Vaporish is without the sustain that Dobson is going to have, and now that Dobson has finished Ickful, he can start actually looking to take up these boxing training matches, and it'll be a lot harder for Vaporish to keep up without that sustain.
And also, you know, you were talking about objectives. I've brought it up a number of times as Devourer's Gauntlets become more and more popular. Such an option when it comes to the Gold Fury fight. You can start the Gold Fury, send 4 players to zone, and leave your Hunter shooting that Gold Fury because the lifesteal is going to be enough sustain to take care of the objective. Such a valuable option here. The problem is that you put yourself at a disadvantage initially, but we're already past the point of disadvantage. Everybody has a Ichabod on the side of the Hunters like you highlighted, so he can take the fight and take the objective. Nice look for Dobson so far.
It's a fairly risky at disadvantage as well, because while you are able to rush the Warrior Tabai or just the Ninja Tabai and the Devos, it's still, you're missing the 90 health, and the death toll, that 90 health actually makes a pretty large impact at the early stage. Plus it's the 10 power that it's pretty ideal having that additional power on top of your death toll sustain.
I prefer the death toll in all honesty, but at this point, I think it's, you know,
if you get away with it,
you
it's
already,
worth it.
yeah, exactly. Basically the troublesome point is earlier on, 3-4 minutes, right? We're already past it. So Dobson, you done did it. Thumbs up, bud. You're past the point where you got to be afraid. 1,400 gold in the lead is Team Rival, despite the kills being pretty even. Era Eternity playing this one for the long game, however. Duckbot, Mango Man, and Vaporish, absolutely the more the night owls than the early game fighters.
And the Oracle Vision is going to go the way of Team Rival, which means just in case Era Eternity were trying to be sneaky with the Gold Fury, considering that they do have a Vulcan and Hu Yi. Those are 2 pretty strong objective shredders.
Oh yeah, I mean, not just objective shredders, but also objective like area deniers. You've got the Vulcan ultimate to say yes, we will put the exclamation point on, and compared to what Watson has with the Waxing Moon, it's longer range and it's going to hit harder. And then Vaporish can drop the ultimate and say, you can't walk here. You just can't walk into my sons. Oh well.
He's trying to get a little bit of poke out onto Dobson, but Dobson isn't even concerned. All he wants to do is just safe clear waves. That's all he has to do. And then once the team fights start breaking out, those easy rotations for Dobson to make, and then considering that he'll have the sustain on his side, it'll work out. And you just love watching this snowman, don't you?
The Christmas trees. Oh, this is a clever strategy though. Using the wall to amp up the rollout, and look at that! Look at that! I said level 11, level 12, level 13. He's clearing it. I bet you was clearing that wave at level 11, level 12.
He should have had a couple of points into that rollout to help assist him with
he went
his
shield?
shockwave.
Interesting. I guess he's anticipating getting jumped on. I really expected him to go. Obviously, shockwave is your first shot.
He went for the safety.
Yeah.
I figured that he would put a second point into that rollout, and that was it.
Yeah, I expected that as well, but not going to be the case. Playing it safe is Mango Man. Wants to make sure that he doesn't get in trouble. But at this point, he's got a breastplate of valor and penetration boots. I don't think anybody's ganking this gap.
I don't think that they want to waste their time ganking the gap right now. Rapio had an opportunity early on, but you still don't really want to expend too much time as a Susano trying to take out such a tanky Guardian.
Yeah, he's a Geb. Oh well. It's not like there's a Freya in that short lane where, oh no, better keep him down. He's going to hyper carry later on. It's a Geb. He's going to be able to gimmick somebody down, and we're going to be able to see that in a little bit. He's going to go ahead, blink, sunder, the whole 9 yards. Somebody's going to get deleted, and we're going to laugh about it. But he's not going to run his way through a team fight as if it was like I said, a solo assassin.
Rival do need to be careful though, because I mean Gnome felt what 2 Senders still feels like.
Oh, yeah.
So that's definitely a deadly combination that they could possibly have. And the nice thing about Ravana, and I didn't see it initially, but he does have a decent bit of CC as well as chase down potential. So with the root in the Ravana's kit, it makes it incredibly easy to just drop both of those Sunders onto whoever they want to take out.
Exactly. You got the root, you got the knockup, and then as soon as they get away, the rollout will be slow to catch up, but then it slows once it hits. Yeah, you ain't getting away from that one. And Eternity Gonna group up here on the left side, looking towards those oracles. But again, Team Rival get the neutral objective, and they earn themselves the vision. And because of that, they've been so attentive. Nice try. They've been paying so much attention to those oracles that Team Rival find themselves up. You know, look at that, almost 2,000 gold. Mango Man. Oh, Mango Man looking for the tower. Mango Man, ladies and gentlemen, Solo Geb wins his lane. That's winning the lane, right? Getting the tower?
That's winning the lane. If you get the tower first, you win the lane automatically.
You win the lane. That's it, right? You
Does
win the
get
lane.
stunned out, though, by Gnome.
I didn't see it. All I saw was him winning the lane.
I think that's also just largely credited to that Swift Wing.
Yes.
Just frequently being able to back and then get into the lane before Gnome, because TP is only up every so often, and Swift Wing is up anytime you back.
And so, I mean, I've been a proponent of the Swift Wing for a long time, and basically, as long as you leave lane on your own terms, it's just as good as teleport. You're able to get to lane back. As a Geb, though, with the rollout, I mean, you ever play Sonic?
Oh,
You're just
all the time.
Just zooming, just going, not even rolling out. Look at Mango Man, just getting there nice and quickly. His tower only down half HP.
Just gonna clear out those creep waves. And I think I am still very surprised by how slow-paced Rival are allowing this game to be. We saw it from them last week, where they chose to play things out a little bit more on the cautious side. But now I think that it's legitimately just them preferring to have a slower-paced early game. But it's kind of confusing in the sense that they have a lot of potential to just put pressure literally everywhere on the map in comparison to Era Eternity's draft.
Yeah, it's a cognitive dissonance where Era Eternity are playing this slow game because they have to. Their draft dictates that, listen, level 3 Vulcan, not as strong as he is when he's later on, right? They have a Geb solo, for God's sakes. They're obviously not looking for the level 1. Team Rival, on the other hand, have an early game composition, and they're able to really fight out. Nice relics used by Sirduckbot to get out of there. An all-in, essentially. Rapio and Watson expending their ultimates, and both Duckbot and his support get out of there no problem.
And now the first Gold Fury dance is really about to kick off, since Rival know that they forced out Duckbot. And I think that they want to try and contest Era Eternity, need to try and contest this.
Oh, Vapor waits too long. There's the ultimate out of the Vulcan, and it grabs 3 players and puts them down low. Terra pops hers as well. Nice stun from the backside. Mango Man controlling the entirety of Team Rival, while Maloaise gets controlled by Gnome.
And already, Era Eternity are just trying to back off from this engagement. Unfortunately for Duckbot, he launched his Vulcan ultimate a little bit too far away.
Vapor has sons. He's got to drop him, and he does. Mango Man taking on to the Phoenix, and there it is. Era Eternity snatch away the Gold Fury. Mango Man and Vapor coming in clutch.
And Rapio forced out of the fight. Everybody from Era Eternity just trying to back off, and Rival aren't going to pursue this. They can't.
That was the play that Era Eternity thought of when they drafted the comp. They said, all right, Mango Man, you're going to come around the backside, smack somebody with a rollout, sunder him maybe, knock up good, and you're going to steal an objective. And everybody said, yeah, sure, I'm sure that's the way it's going to happen. And then that's the way it happens. Era Eternity looking for part 2, while Team Rival start at the Portal Demon.
Rapio looking to hang around against
ultimate.
Mango Man. He does have the cleanse, though, and they are not going to be able to steal it away this time, but now they're in a bit of an awkward position against Rival, just running them down. They're going to pursue this into the T1 tower.
Maloaise in trouble, gets shot by Dobson. He'll fall down for the count, and the Tier 1 tower likely going to fall to the same fate. But hey, Vaporish making work here. Part of the cycle himself, turning these towers into money clouds. And Team Rival, they get a consolation Tier 1 tower. They get a consolation Portal Demon. But it's a Tier 1 tower as well for Era Eternity, as well as the Gold Fury. Rival still find themselves up about a couple of 100 gold. But in all honesty, that was Era Eternity's.
Gnome just had to use his TP as well to prevent the T2 tower falling to Vaporish, but I feel like that was just a really awkward engagement initially on the Gold Fury for Rival, because they could have probably just committed to that gold and secured it. It was such low HP, and the Vulcan ultimate was not on the mark. So I'm kind of surprised that they chose to reset that, looking for the fight, when they could have probably just taken that and backed off.
I won't fault Duckbot. I think he made his choice to ult closer, looking for the team fight ult. It's Vaporish that I was sitting there The Gold Fury was 20%, 10%, holding on to the Suns. He got stunned. That's when Rival should have went for it. When Terra clapped on Vaporish, get the gold and run. That's when Rival should have gone for it. But unfortunately for them and their fans, Rival just dropped the gold. They don't drop the gold tree, which is the problem, and allow Aaron to steal it away. But they drop the objective chance of scoring it. And 20 minutes in, we have a tie game when Rival perhaps should be further ahead. But this is exciting for me simply because Era Eternity crafted an oddball composition, and they're doing it right. Like, they're playing to this composition strength.
I think that it's actually awesome watching them utilize and execute this Geb solo in such a manner. They took advantage of the fact that Rival wasn't aggressing, but that's not the case right now for Mango Man. It's looking like Watson wants to pick a fight, but with the rest of his squad to back him up, he'll be able to get out just fine.
That Snowman skin is too much for me, I swear. We're going to ban that skin because it makes me laugh too much. I'm not kidding.
Fair enough. But I just really wanted to see a lot more pressure than what Rival placed.
That's the issue here is that, you know, Rival and Era Eternity, I don't want to give them too much credit, but it's almost as if they understood that Rival wanted to play it safer. This is a nice strategy. Rapio wrapping around the back end, looking for the flank onto the weaker characters, but Duckbot and Vapor already fall back, seeing the rotation. Team Rival does not have the element of surprise, and so they won't get the kill either. 3 ultimates used on the side of Rival. EE have all of theirs available.
All that it caused EE was Sirduckbot's actives.
Yep.
That is a win every single time, and now the grouping is starting to happen here for Area Eternity. It's clear that they want to look for this fight in the T1, maybe try and return fire onto that mid lane tower.
Yeah, like I said, Mango Man's looking for that Blink Initiate, still going with this hybrid build. I love it. The Pen Boots into the Void Stone. Now he's going to go for the Spirit Robe and the Breastplate of Valor. So he's got 1 dedicated power item, 2 dedicated, well, I guess Breastplate of Valor's hybrid. 20 CDR, but still, this nice, not committing to either full defense or full offense, hybrid build coming out from the Geb. I am slowly enjoying this one because of the fact that Rival simply didn't play against their enemy strengths or weaknesses, rather.
And this is really just a battle of pure sustain against sheer tankiness. And they keep clashing heads, and they're going to have to start clashing a little bit more, and it'll just be interesting to see who's starting to get the better trade-off for it, because Rival have a ton of sustain right now between the Chang'e and the Terra, but Dobson also has his own self-heal.
Yeah.
But for Area Eternity, they're really relying pretty heavily on the setup potential from Coach Killy, as well as just Mango Man's cleansing follow-ups. And I think that Maloaise kind of needs to be the get-go initiating factor alongside of Coach Killy, because they're going to really just want Mango Man kind of protecting that back line.
All right, the split push Geb, not my favorite strategy in the world. The Suns come down, and this time Rival are able to secure their own Gold's Fury. Era Eternity a little bit too spread out. There's Rapio getting hit by the hands and the Sunder, walking into Vapor, but a nice teleport gets him away, just barely missing the ricochet.
Just off the... Man, it's actually so crazy how I thought that was going to catch the triple bounce along the wall.
Yeah, there's a number of
scary
spots
there.
Yeah, you always bring up that specific, that area by the Gold Fury. So many ricochet options available for Hou-Yi players that know their spots.
Unfortunately for Vapor, she's not going to be able to find it, and now this looks a little bit familiar. This time it is Area Eternity opting to try and secure this Portal Demon, and with the Vulcan on their side, they might be able to.
Yeah, 1,500 gold in the lead right now is Team Rival. They're looking to mess up the Portal Demon as well as Era Eternity start up the objective. That one gets snatched away. Rival taking it as well. Maloaise gets rooted thanks to the dash forward from Terra, and trouble on the right side as we see an exit of Vulcan on the left. Maloaise still very low. There's the ultimate out of Jing, and Rapio cuts down the jungle. Ravana, nice and easy.
Everybody's just trying to turn tail and run right now for Era Eternity. That fight went completely 180 as soon as Rival were able to steal away that Portal Demon. They can't afford to stay in the area any longer, and now they're also going to lose their T1 tower, potentially have pressure applied onto their T2, but I know one thing for sure. Rival can easily back out anytime and make it straight into that area yet again off of that portal.
Mango Man doesn't have his ultimate, but everybody else on Era Eternity does. Rapio and Watson the only two with theirs. Waxing Moon very big right here, but the taunt's good. There's Duckbot over the top, but it's too far. Doesn't hit anybody. And Rival, they've got a good shot, and they will take the tier 2 tower.
There's no doubt about it. They can afford to stay on this T2 all day long because
Mango
of the
Man
Chang'e
can
and Terra.
tank forever. Actually, they're not going to get the tier 2 tower. Mango Man can tank it forever, the solo gap.
They could have healed a decent bit and probably still look to apply that pressure, but with Coach Killy having his Athena ultimate and coming back into the fight, didn't want to risk anybody getting picked off from the side of Rival.
And it's very important that Era Eternity play that as aggressive as they did. They're down 3,000 right now, Taco. That's fine. You can fight into 3K, right? Era Eternity have to play that offensively. If things start unraveling from this point forward, that's where Era Eternity have to get scared. But right now, it might not be a tie game, but it's absolutely a game that EE can fight into.
I don't think that EE are scared of taking up these fights either, but I do want to see them a little bit more grouped.
Yeah.
The times that they have found themselves losing objectives or losing the team fights is when one or two members have been just a little bit too separated. When you're running a double tank composition with the hybrid of the Maloaise on that Ravana, you really just want to ensure that you're all together, because once you start to split apart just a little bit, you're going to miss a damage component or you're going to miss a tanking component, and you need both of those together at the same time if you want it to work.
And a lot of times I really don't like to harp on missed abilities, but when it comes down to it, that team fight was changed because Duckbot does not hit the ultimate from the Vulcan. Vulcan's like a hobwat. If you're gonna miss the ultimate, it's just not a good look, is putting it very lightly. You have to hit that ultimate. Coach Killy, Vaporish, and Duckbot starting up the Fire Giant. Already down to half HP right now, bringing it even lower. There's the frenzy, it's a full commit. Here comes Mango, the ultimate is gonna hit this time. Fire Giant goes to Era Eternity. Can they take the fight? Different story. Duckbot gonna fall down here on the front side unless he gets some big help, but he won't. Mid lanes both dead as Mango Man took out Watson earlier on. Now still looking for more. Vaporish relatively low. His relic's on cooldown as well. Vaporish gonna fall here. Great Gem Shield, he will not for the moment, but Mango Man and Maloaise playing it very safe.
And this is what I was talking about, where they wanted that peel component.
Nice
but
knock
Rapio's
up.
not willing to give it up. He is going to be able to clean up a Porsche, and now Mango Man's in a horrible position, trying to escape from the rest of Rival is chasing him down, but the shield is good, the peel is great.
Rapio on a tear. The Susano took control of the team fight even after the Fire Giant goes in the other direction. Athena taunts, but JacobHL and Gnome are so incredibly tanky. Maloaise gets 2 shields, still not enough. PS, where's Dobson? Still on the tier 2 tower.
And Dobson could actually look to re-engage onto Area Eternity, but Rival already got what they wanted out of that. They killed both of the carries that had that Fire Giant, so now it's just Maloaise, Killy, and Mango Man with this Fire Giant buff, but not having it on your carries kind of hurts a lot.
Yeah, that's the thing there with this solo Gab, is that he is the one-trick pony. He has one shot. There are characters that seem that way, where they're very ultimate loaded, or like you take a look at Odin, right? His bird bomb's down. What's he gonna do to you? Geb is literally just that. He gets his Sunder gimmick combo off, and then all he can do is walk around and shield people. So it's more exaggerated than some of the other jungle selections, so you only have the 2 carries.
And right now it's Maloaise using his ultimate already. His beads are down as well. Rapio and Dobson forcing everybody back again on Area Eternity. They might look to siege this T1 tower against a 3-member Fire Giant team.
I mean, I absolutely would. The 3 members with Fire Giant, look, they're not gonna die, but defensive Athena, solo Geb, they're not going to kill anybody with Geb's cooldowns on.
Not going to kill anybody, but oh, that's unfortunate.
They got an Aegis.
They got an Aegis, but at the cost of a Vulcan ultimate.
Yeah.
And I with Rival knowing that the Vulcan ultimate has been expended, they can easily pressure back onto this Gold Fury. Vaporish can't come anywhere near it because then a team fight is going to break out undoubtedly. They're going to look to just lock down that ADC.
Oh, well, right here, looking to lock down somebody else. Gnome and Dobson coming in from the left side as Mango Man trying to get out of there as quick as possible. Trying to save his Robin's life. Uses the ultimate and the suns come down, but I don't think it's enough, Taco. It's going to be enough to send Rival in the other direction, but it won't be enough to find the kills.
But it's sending them in the direction of the Portal Demon. Rival wanted to secure this objective yet again and ensure that they have a way back to mid lane.
Portal Demon obviously going the way of Team Rival here. No disruption from Era Eternity whatsoever. And 20 seconds short of a half hour. We've got 9 kills. Team Rival own 2/3 of them. and they're also up 7,000 gold. Fantastic transition into the late game by the dominant European team.
And I still think that they could have placed and emphasized a little bit more on that early game just to, I think they could have probably closed this one out a little bit sooner if you put that Geb super far behind from the start.
Yep.
But I do like their coordination in team fights as well. They're ensuring to keep looking out for each other consistently. Jacob has been following Dobson around everywhere, and that is pretty much essential for what Rival are trying to do because they just want to have 4 members available in that front line so that way Rapio is just kind of running rampant in the back.
Yeah, Area Eternity, like I said, that the bigger problem here is that they have one shot for their team fight composition here. Mango Man has to delete somebody, and then Duckbot has to hit the ult. If Mango Man doesn't wind up with a kill, it's a 4-on-5 in Rival's direction, because Mango Man doesn't do anything after his ultimate Sunder knock-up rollout combo. He literally just shields.
Mango Man has to either find somebody all at once, or Maloaise has to 100% get in there and have that follow-up potential, which is you can have with the Ravana, but if Rival keep forcing out his ultimate, that takes away a large portion of the secure factor in this draft.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough here coming out for the guys on Era Eternity. I was very high on this composition a little bit earlier on. Well, I won't say that, but I was delighted to watch it play out, and it was actually doing what it was supposed to do for a while. But Team Rival later on, Rapio just becomes too much of a force. The Susano the ability of Susano to really run the game at this point in time cannot be matched by the Ravana.
The disruption factor that Susano can provide is just a little bit too much to handle right now for Era Eternity. And it's really just been a lot of Coach Killy looking to taunt people away in a defensive manner rather than being able to kick off the aggressive stance with it.
Fire Giant started at the moment by Team Rival. Hunter likely to stay on it again, talking about those Devo gloves. P.S. With Duckbot gone, Rival absolutely get this objective.
They're
Don't
not
even have
looking
to
for the
stay on
objective.
it.
They just want the fight. They want to take out Mango Man.
With Duckbot gone, they're absolutely going to look for the fight. Nice knockup coming out from the Susano. A couple of slows as well. Terra ultimate looking to save the life, and the Blink will save the life of Mango Man. Team Rival now concerned with the other side of the map, right side, and it's all about Rapio. 4-0-3 for the young man on the jungle, Susano. And Team Rival take out 2 players, the jungle and the mid lane, and that'll open the window for the tier 2 tower, and Team Rival will fall back and likely look for the objective.
Those are the kind of picks that just cannot happen for Era Eternity if they want this draft to work out. For the Vulcan to die at that moment when there's such a huge objective to be contested on the map.
Critical.
It's just unfortunate positioning. I think that Duckbot was just trying to push up that mid lane. Rapio just keeping tabs on these 2 carries. He's been looking for Vaporish and Sirduckbot the entire time that these team fights have started breaking out right around the 15-minute mark. So with Duckbot breaking off just a little bit too far from Mango Man, that small window of opportunity is all that Rapio needs to lock him down with Susano.
Yeah, he's a Vulcan. I mean, he absolutely needs the help from his teammates, and Rapio is certainly going to bring it down. So Vaporish now building into the critical strike, and that's what I wanted to bring up on the other side of the Hunter. Usually when you see Transcendence or Devo gloves, it's a lot of power. So you want to build into that crit because you have this giant power bank. And when you see the transition out of it, kind of ask yourself some questions. I really love this build, actually. Understanding that the Devo gloves are going to help Dobson when it comes to the objectives, but he has Geb in mind as well.
Having Geb in mind is always a solid thought, and also just because of the fact that they have just the 3 tanky members, like you just stated, there's
no crit.
Typically you want crit on Jingwei, especially because her kit already provides you with it in her second ability enhance, but it doesn't make too much of a difference, and there's a lot of harping as far as Executioner and Titan's Bane is concerned, but the damage output is still, it's because the 2 passives on those items just kind of counteract each other, because you have the 33% physical penetration on the Titan's Bane, but that's kind of negated by the passive of the Executioner, because Executioner, you're lowering their protection, so they just work against each other.
Yeah, the idea is that Titan's Bane by itself will lower the protections more so than Titan's Bane with the Executioner. So you're not getting your full bang for your buck, but there's a difference of theory versus practice. So in theory, yeah, the Titan's Bane is doing less with the Executioner, but as a seasoned hunter player yourself, I mean, how does that actually work on the battlefield?
It actually just works. That's pretty much it. Like, you have Objective Shred, and speaking of Shred, Mango Man blinking straight into the Jing knockup. Now he's in a lot of danger, and he's trying to get away.
Roll out.
He was hit by the sickle, though, from rival Gnome, and now they're just looking to keep chasing him down, not allowing him to look for the blink away, considering he used it to get in.
Couldn't even get the ultimate off. Mango Man down for a full minute. Wow. And, you know, just to wrap up the point on the double penetration items from the Hunter, you mentioned it in passing. The penetration that comes from the Titan's Bane is going to work on towers, phoenixes, fire giant, and the Gold Fury as well. Executioner is more focused towards the gods. So while you are sort of downplaying the Titan's Bane, you're getting everything else everywhere you want. Team Rival taking down 2 players here in the Phoenix area, and they're going to go right for the Titan here, folks. 10-3, 35 minutes of play, and it looks like this one belongs to Rival.
And Rival not looking to slow down anytime soon. They're getting anything they want from not only Area Eternity, but this base just completely locking down all of these Phoenixes. They could have looked to try and capitalize on the end there, but it seems as though they want to prioritize taking out every single Phoenix first. Mango Man is going to be respawning here in about 4 seconds, so with that in mind, Rival playing it safe and choosing to just back off. The Hui ultimate was enough for them to be deterred away. They were kind of concerned of getting locked down by Titan swings pretty hard.
Very hard.
That hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts to try and tank that up against, especially inside of the Hui ultimate where you're being slowed as well. So not really looking to deal with it. Worried that Mango Man might have had the craziest cataclysm of 2017.
Hey, just yesterday we watched Wowie kill 5 players and win the game for his team.
Sometimes it's called the Wowie effect now. I think you kind of just have to give it that.
If you're just a console league fan, you need to go ahead and watch the VOD from yesterday's PC game. Noble versus E United, game number 2. Wowie defends the base 1 versus 5, playing a Kernanos with a shred of HP.
Well, it was technically 1v4 at the end, but
all they had to do was look at him.
The unofficial penta.
All they had to do was look at him, but instead just had the mind on the Titan, and it came to bite them in the butt. Wowie kills 4-5 players and winds up with a victory for his team. Rival are sitting there going, I watched NAPC yesterday. Mango Man's going to come out and cataclysm us all. He's going to 5-man sunder us. And, you know, I guess there is no such thing as too safe in a game of Smite.
Better safe than sorry is pretty much always a good motto to live by, especially in circumstances where you have such a massive event like Valencia on the line. For Rival to find a set win here, or even the split, that would amp them up to either 4 or 6 points, and just having that, and only, I believe 1 more week remaining of competition for the EU guys, because they only get 3 weeks. It's really rough for them.
Very quick, just like Fire Giant goes down, and just like this siege should be, is how these next couple of weeks are going to fly by. Rapio leading the charge as the Susano, 5-0-4, the star of this game by far. I mean, he's got 90% kill participation, and all of his kills have been very important. That pull not on the mark. The Munch shot will be good. Oh, wow.
Dobson's 1 HP, but Mango Man can't lock him down. Dobson's going to get out for free.
He's barely out there, but he will survive. Team Rival still here, but great defense coming out from Era Eternity. Where do they go now?
Dobson can just sustain off of waves because he has the Devourer's Gauntlets plus the Fire Giant buff. So he's going to be able to heal up off of these creep waves. Unfortunate for Area Eternity, though, that they don't lock down the Hunter kill there on 1 HP. And that, again, is kind of the downside of Geb solo, because I think any other warrior would have had that kill.
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, the Geb solo, he's got one thing and one thing only. It was nice during the mid game, but here during the late game, you just kind of wish you had a different option. All in on the Titan, and Team Rival this time are going to take it in 39 minutes of play. Needed the extra 4 minutes, but Rival do take the victory 10-3.
They weren't looking to hesitate or slow down, even with the entirety of Area Eternity hanging out in their base. 3 Phoenixes down, you really don't stand much of a chance of holding off against a Fire Giant team such as Rival. So really, you called it out earlier right before that game was ending, and I'd have to agree with you. Rapio really just stuck out to me, being a participant in such a large amount of the team's kills.
Yeah, easily. I mean, this guy just came out and this is where everything mattered. Every single kill that Rapio brought was so important, whether it was Duckbot right there in the mid lane opens up the objective for his team. The kill on the Mango Man earlier opened up the side lanes for his team. He understood that the early game wasn't, like we both said, we might have wanted to see a little bit more of the early game, but late game, impactful, the win goes his way.
I think they're taking the better safe than sorry motto to a whole new extent, where they're looking to just play it out so cautiously in the early phase. They really don't want to prevent any sort of mishaps, or they want to prevent any sort of mishaps because they don't want to fall behind early on. They know how critical those first few levels really are in Smite. Prevent the snowball entirely. So
I liked it.
It works.
I like the taco. I'll give you a high five for that one a little bit later. Picks and